Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I don't know when you're going to be watching this, but welcome to CPS 162. This is a small class. Most of you have had me before, but if you haven't, my name is Dan Faringer, and I will be teaching this class. I believe right now the class size is 6. That has its advantages, it has its disadvantages. So let's hope there are more advantages than not. Uh, all of you have had CPS 161 before taking this course, so you should be pretty up to date on C++. And this semester is odd in that our first day we don't meet because we only meet on Mondays, and the first week we don't have a Monday class, but we can't afford to lose a week of work. So this video is going to help you figure out what the class is all about, and then get you started on what you should be doing that first week. And a bunch of it's knocking some rust off from C++ to get you up and rolling in this course. This course is, in my opinion, the hardest CPS course by a bit. So we're going to have to work hard to do well in this course, but I have faith that all of you can do it. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start with excuse me, a little head cold. Going to start with the syllabus. And here we go. CPS 161. There's your CRN number. I have no phone number because I have no office. This is spring 2025 semester. Uh, we will be meeting at 11 o'clock. I have a class before this and I have a class right after this. So I have busy Mondays, but this is the way it all worked out. If you ever need to meet with an office hour, you see there Tuesday and Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to noon, and you'll go to this thing called Calendly and go from there. I think the link's on there. Should be. I'll have to double check it. Remote learning, you know what's going on. Ever since COVID, this has been one of the choice ways to meet as a group. Webcam policy, I like when they're on, especially with such a small class. I can make sure everybody's following along, but if you choose not to, that's fine. I will be recording every class so that you have video of what's going on. And you probably looked around D2L and you'll see where I have recordings of previous classes, but they were spread out more and not as condensed as what we're going to have. Course description is there. You needed to have passed CPS 161. 2 books. First one is the one that's sort of in a box. I don't know why it's in a box, but that's one you already have. Your C++ book from 161. The second one is an older book. It hasn't been updated in 20 years. It's a more technical book, and it goes in depth in some of the things that we're talking about that I think are important to go in depth with. So, learning outcomes. Lots of good stuff in here. This, again, as I said, this is the hardest comp sci course in your first 2 years. And when you transfer, most of our transfer schools know what you're doing. But if it's not a usual state school or Penn State school, they may want to know what you covered in this course. And the syllabus is something that's good to give to them. Grading policy, only 585 points. We don't have time for lots of little quizzes and so forth, but 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 90 is a B. We'll have, and again, up here at the top, tentative subject to change. We'll have 9, 10, I think there might be 10, not 9 programming assignments, 2 tests at 100, 1 final exam at 150 points, and then a bunch of in-class assignments. You're going to be getting together to do stuff outside of class, and the place to do it, as I'll explain when the time is right, you can just log into my Zoom page and work that way. An easy way for you folks to meet. Test. I don't take anything late, but if you miss a test because you were in a car wreck, I'll accept that as excusable. If you miss a test because you overslept, not good. You gotta show up and take the test and do all the assignments. As you know, most of you that I've had before, program has to compile and run, or I don't know how many points to give you. Last semester, we lost 2 students. Why? It wasn't their own original work. They were dismissed with the grade of an F. I withdraw you right away. So don't cheat on anything. I have access to Chegg and Google and all that, and I've seen programs and I can tell from, you do a program at this level, and then all of a sudden, wow, look at this program, and I haven't even seen any of the code, and well, you might get questioned, and but you're not learning anything if you do that. Tutoring, don't know if they'll have a tutor available or not. You can check when the time comes, but hopefully they will, and if you need it. But I'm thinking you folks are going to rely on each other to get through this course. Attendance, I need you to show up. We only meet 14 times, actually 13, and you need to be there to learn. Like I said, this is a hard course. If you don't come, I can always withdraw you. Well, some of you know from last semester, the dachshund is still here, getting ready to, oh, there's the neighbor dog. Withdrawal, I can withdraw you if you miss a lot of classes. I can withdraw you if you cheat. You can withdraw up to the 70th percent mark of the semester. Most of you are returning students, so you know this. Some other things that you might need, dropping and adding deadlines are listed. You can withdraw from the course the same place you signed up for. Student handbook, they don't print them anymore. We prefer digital instead. Here's a link to go there. If you need accommodations, this is where you're going to contact. If you feel that you've been discriminated against, you can use this by way of this EEOC policy. And here's the folks that you would contact for that. Okay, any questions? Huh, just the dog. The dog's the only one that has a question. All right, let's go to excuse me, D2L now. And if you've had me, you're saying, well, this pretty much looks like the last course. It's because we don't need to mix it all up. You clearly have found Zoom, and you clearly have gone from there. So here's classroom videos, week 1 intro, which is what we're working on now. And then I'm going to add another one here in a little bit. Here's the link to click for office hours on Calendly. Down here, I've done as you can see, we don't meet the first week, but I'm going to do a quick review of chapter 9. Okay. Chapter 13, you can watch the PowerPoint, but it's mentioned up here. So we'll get to that in a minute. But week by week, here's the schedule. G is the Gaddis book, N is the NIOF book. So we do a lot early with the Gaddis, then we get a little more technical with the NIOF book. I have group project. I'm deciding if I'm going to make 2 groups of 3 or 1 group of 6. And this is something where you're going to have to take care of outside of class and decide, hey, the 3 of us, we're in a group together. We have to meet to do this project. It's due by a certain date. Now, I think the outside of class projects are 10 points, but we'll talk more about that before they're due. Here's one, big O notation. That's a 35-point project. But we have these where you're going to work in small groups, sort of like you would in a breakout room. And something I want you to solve. Normally we would do it in class time, but there's really no need to do it then. You notice test will be taking outside of that Monday class time. So this is what we're pulling out versus these are what we'll be discussing when we meet as we go through the week. Okay, first day, come in, yada, yada. There's several things I want you to do. This video, of course, is going to be, I'll have a new, right here in this widget is where I'm going to put it. Hopefully you found it. Oh, no, I'll put it here. I'll put it on that link. Okay, good. Next, I want you to go back and go through chapter 13. The first chapter we cover is chapter 14, which is more classes. So I need you to get up and running with how classes work, remembering all that stuff so that we can get ready and look at it and move on the first day of class. There's a PowerPoint if you want to run through it first. Here's 13.1. 13.4, load 13.4, and then you have to write a test program for it. Well, here is the test program. So you're working with making sure you're getting all of these up and running. Again, 13.3 is missing some code that you're going to have to add to help it get running. So this is your first week of work right here. Zoom, class link. Here I'll put the new videos that we have. Here are, as you notice, we're doing Qs in one day. Here was Qs over 2 days. So instead of a 25-minute video and a 30-minute video, we're going to have a 55-minute video. So they wanted it condensed, and it's been condensed. But we'll get through it. Won't be a problem. Most of you are familiar with the navigation bar. Course home is what we were looking at. PowerPoints, this is under content. Here's not the syllabus. I have to update that. Gaddis PowerPoints, NIOF PowerPoints, review questions, all kinds of stuff to go along with our 2 textbooks that you can take a look at. And the review question answers are good because my tests have a lot of true, false, multiple choice type questions on it. Discussion board, the more this is used, the better off we are. Here is that posting your program solution after the due date for everybody to look at. Good. Dropbox, you know this is where all the work gets done. And there's all of our assignments, and there's big O notation. Again, we may add another assignment. We have spring break here in the middle. Quizzes. Test 1, test 2, and final exam. Not a whole lot. These guys will use the lockdown browser. And as you're doing in a lot of your math classes, you're going to have to use the side camera. I will give you more information on that as the time gets closer. These dates are off. I'll update those. But the 3 tests that you're going to take are found here under quizzes. Grades. There's all the grades. It's not a lot, so don't start missing assignments. They'll add up pretty quick. And the class list. And as you can see, there's 2, 4, 6 of you right now. Okay. All right. So that's all that I have for the class intro. And look forward to seeing you on that first day. Let me know if you have any questions.